And in other news, they faced missiles, food shortages, and lockdowns, yet they kept going. Coming up now, the incredible story of how Leket Israel sprang into action during the war, feeding hundreds of thousands when no one else could. It's a tale of resilience, heart, and hope. Let's take a look.
During this war, as sirens blared and families sheltered in place, one thing remained constant: Leket didn't stop. While Israel's home front took heavy hits, Leket Israel, the country's national food bank, shifted into emergency mode, just as it had during past crises. Food sources disappeared overnight. There were no more leftovers from army bases or hotel buffets. Volunteers couldn't safely reach the fields, but the need was still there, so Leket acted fast. With less rescued food available, the organization began purchasing food at full price, an expensive but necessary pivot to ensure no one went hungry. At the Leket distribution center, the usual 100 daily volunteers were replaced by just 15 at a time due to safety limits. Most were staff working around the clock to pack, sort, and deliver food to those who needed it most. They adapted their model, making fewer but larger deliveries, offering door-to-door service for homebound seniors, and distributing food cards when logistics made physical delivery impossible. Leket even expanded its mobile food pantry, bringing produce straight to central locations in towns where partner agencies had shut down. And now that the ceasefire is in place, Leket has returned to its core mission: rescuing fresh, surplus food from farms, hotels, and corporate kitchens, and getting it into the hands of those who need it most. The organization serves 415,000 recipients a week and works with 300 nonprofits across the state of Israel. They were there during the crisis. They'll be ready for the next one. But until then, Leket continues doing what it does best, because until there is no hunger, Leket won't stop.
Incredible resilience by Leket Israel. And here in the studio with us today, we have the pleasure of meeting Sally Pulat, Leket's Regional Director of U.S. Development. Sally, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Ladar.
So for those who may not be familiar, what is Leket Israel? And maybe you can also give us sort of an overview of the mission that you've taken on since October 7th.
Of course. For those that may not know, Leket actually means the gleaning of the crops, which is a biblical commandment that we need to leave the edges of the crops for the poor. Joseph Gittler started Leket a little bit over 22 years ago. He saw a gap between the amount of wasted food and how we needed to feed people across the country, the surplus of what we have. And that's how he started the organization. Our mission is to rescue nutritious, good food and get it to the people of Israel all over the country. And that's all Israelis.
And nutritious, I think, is a key word there.
Absolutely.
Now, you've launched a lot of special initiatives across Israel. Is there anyone that really stands out for you?
Yeah, we've done a lot of adapting and pivoting as the war within war. One that stands out is Leket Express, and basically that's a truck that we started about 3 years ago, and it became a grocery store when it went into neighborhoods that were poor neighborhoods, economically not doing well. And what we were able to do is we'd open the truck and we'd basically give people in the neighborhood fresh produce, which they were able to then turn into meals. And then the way we had to pivot with Iran, the war in Iran, is basically we started making boxes so that people didn't have to stand outside, and we had the boxes delivered as well as giving them immediately versus having people wait. Mm-hmm. So we changed our whole thing based on
the realities here.
The reality of the missiles coming down, and Homeland Security basically telling us that we have to be safe for the people that we're providing the meals to.
Yeah. And how have sort of the volunteers and the local communities, how have they stepped up since October 7th and, you know, the war with Iran?
So it's pretty crazy, because when it started in October 7th, a lot of flights got canceled. A lot of people couldn't come to Israel and volunteer. The Israeli population and the culture is so amazing that 65% of the population of Israel actually stepped up to volunteer.
Wow.
Through a whole bunch of nonprofits, and we were the benefactor of them as well. So I could tell you that people felt like they needed to do something that was important and contributed. So last year we had about 95,000 volunteers come into Leket and help us. The year before that was 80,000. So can you imagine, even with the war and the lack of flights, people were coming and wanted to be part of something bigger than themselves. So come volunteer. It's super important that you do that.
I mean, that's an incredible statistic, and I think also shows the resilience of the people here in Israel. And so, you know, for those now watching from abroad who perhaps are not in Israel and can't come help, you know, how can they help? What's a meaningful way for them to help right now if they want to?
Well, first of all, we'd love your help. Leket is a nonprofit organization, and we survive based on donations from all over the world. So it's super important for us to have financial support to do what we do. We never stop. The missiles, the first war, anything that basically you would think would stop us doesn't. We serve, again, about 415,000 people a week, and that's up from 230,000 before October 7th. So that's a really big number of folks. So please help us provide meals to people who need it now more than ever. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sally, for joining us. And for those watching, you can scan the QR code on your screen right now to help Leket Israel bring food to everyone who needs it here in Israel.